Hi dear friends, good morning to all. Dear friends, in the previous part of the video, we particularly discussed or we particularly studied about the collision theory for biomolecular reaction. Before that, we also tried to study about the various assumptions of collision theory, and with the help of that assumptions, we are able to explain the rate of reaction for simple biomolecular gaseous reaction. Dear friends, today in this part of the video we are interested to study the collision theory for unimolecular reaction. So today we will try to discuss about the collision theory for unimolecular reaction. Dear friends, word itself indicates as it is the unimolecular reaction, it means that the reaction which are involving only one molecule are called as unimolecular reaction, and as here we are going to apply this collision theory for unimolecular reaction, and in unimolecular reaction only one molecule of the reactant take part in the reaction, and hence according to the collision theory for collision at least two molecules are required, so it's very difficult to apply this collision theory for unimolecular reaction. So here is the problem, that in unimolecular reaction expected thing is that only one molecule of the reactant take part in the reaction, but according to the collision theory for collision at least two molecules are required, and this problem is explained or it is overcome by means of an Lindemann. And then the problem is that the postulate of the collision theory, that the rate of the reaction is given by the number of collision per second between the activated molecule, cannot be applied in order to study the unimolecular reaction, because according to the collision theory two molecules are required for the collision to react, and in unimolecular reaction only one molecule take part in the chemical reaction, and that's why the postulate of the collision theory, that the rate of reaction is given by or is depends upon the number of collision per second between the activated molecule, cannot be applied to explain the rate of unimolecular reaction with the help of collision theory, and hence the behavior of unimolecular reaction can be also explained on the basis of biomolecular reaction. So as here, so this is the one important thing given by Mr. Lindemann, that the behavior of unimolecular reaction can be explained on the basis of biomolecular reaction, and that's why in the year of 1922 Lindemann suggested that the molecule acquire activation energy through collision with the other molecule. As a result, some molecules get activated. So here Lindemann suggested that some molecules acquire energy of activation through the collision with the other molecule, and such molecules get activated. So these activated molecule decompose only after some time, lag. So here if they decompose, definitely it results into the product formation with the rate of reaction, and hence there is a time lag between activation and decomposition, means there is a time lag between the formation of activated complex and decomposition, means the formation of product. And when this time lag or time gap is very large or is large, then it is observed that many activated molecule get deactivated again through the collision with ordinary or less energetic other molecules. It's very important. If this time lag is very large, then it is observed that many activated molecule gets deactivated again with the collision or through the collision with ordinary or less energetic molecule, and hence the rate of reaction will not be proportional to the number of activated molecule, but it will be proportional to only those molecules which will retain their energy of activation in the activated state. So it's very important. Rate of reaction will not proportional to the number of activated molecule, but it will be proportional to only those molecules which can retain their energy of activation in the activated state also. And when the rate of deactivation is much greater than the rate of decomposition, it means that the reverse that is nothing but the reverse reaction. If the rate of deactivation is much greater than the rate of decomposition in the product formation, then the reaction will behave as, or the reaction will be unimolecular. If this time lag between activation and the decomposition is large, then definitely the many molecules get deactivated through the collision with other molecule, and in this case the rate of reaction will not be proportional to the number of activated molecules, but it will be proportional to only those molecules which can retain the energy of activation. And in such a case, the rate of deactivation is found to be much greater than the rate of decomposition, and then the reaction will be called as unimolecular reaction. Dear friends, today in order to discuss the unimolecular reaction or the rate of unimolecular reaction with the help of this uh, collision theory, we will simply consider a simple reaction in which only one reactant like A gives the product formation, and this reaction according to the Lindemann take place in various stages. And according to Lindemann, in the first step, this one reactant molecule A reacts with the other reactant molecule or collide with the other reactant molecule. It gives the formation of activated complex of the activated molecule A star along with the normal along with the less energetic or ordinary molecule A. Its rate constant or the rate constant for the formation of activated molecule A star is K1. This A star, which is the activated molecule, may undergo deactivation. If the time lag is large, then it again undergo deactivation to form the reactant again with the rate constant K2. Or this A star, which is the activated molecule, may undergo decomposition to form the product with the rate constant K3. So dear friends, there are three rate constant. One is the K1. K1 is the rate constant for the formation of activated molecule. K2 is the rate constant for the deactivation of this activated molecule, and K3 is the rate constant for decomposition of A star, means the activated molecule, or it is simply the rate constant for the product formation. So in the first stage, the one molecule of reactant get activated to give or to form the activated complex activated molecule, and the rate constant is K1. And if there is a time lag between this activation, if there is a time lag between activation if there is a time lag between this activation and decomposition, then this activated molecule get deactivated, and the reverse process take place in which the activated molecule get converted into reactant again with the rate constant K2. And if there is a time lag is very small or no time lag, then what happens? Then the activated molecule get decomposed with the rate constant K3, and it leads to the product formation. Hence, here rate of formation of activated molecule is simply K1 into concentration of reactant, and in the concentration, that is K1, here the two reactants are here, this A and this A, so it will be concentration of A square. or the square of concentration up to reactant A, and this rate of disappearance of activated molecule. There are two ways to disappear the concentration of activated molecule, that either it will undergo decomposition or it may undergo deactivation. So during the deactivation, the rate equation is K2 into A star into A minus into K3 into A star. This is for the decomposition and this is for the deactivation. So this A star, which is the intermediate activated molecule, is very short lived, and it is the high energy intermediate, so it's very unstable, which is formed during the reaction. So its concentration is not known, its exact concentration is not known, and hence the concentration of A star, means the activated molecule, can be expressed in terms of concentration of reactant A, because the concentration of this activated molecule A star is very important to define the rate of reaction. So according to steady state approximation or the steady state principle, that rate of formation of intermediate is always equal to the rate of disappearance of intermediate. It means that the rate of formation is always equal to the rate of disappearance, and rate of formation of this activated molecule is K1 into A square, and the rate of disappearance of this A star will be equal to K2 into A star into A minus K3 into A star. Suppose I will take here this A star as a common in between these two, so in the bracket there will be only K2 into A plus K3, and now I want to write this equation for A star. So this A star will be equal to this divided by this. It means that K1 into A square divided by K2 into A plus K3, and hence, and since here the rate of reaction is proportional to the concentration of the activated molecule A star, therefore this rate of reaction can be defined by the equation simply as minus dA by dt is equal to K3 into the concentration of activated molecule A star. So here, if we have the equation here for the rate of reaction as minus dA by dt is equal to K3 into A, this negative sign indicates the concentration of the reactant A decreases, that's why we have the negative sign. And if we will put the value of this A star that we calculated in the previous slide, and if we will put the value of this A star in this equation, definitely we will get the equation for the rate of reaction. So K3 into equation for this A star activated molecule is K1 into A square divided by K2 into A plus K3. So this is the equation for the rate of unimolecular reaction according to the collision theory, which is applied on the basis of concept of, or on the basis of biomolecular reaction by means of Lindemann. And definitely this is very simple equation for the rate of unimolecular reaction by means of an Lindemann theory. So dear friends, here we have the two terms at the denominator. One is the K3, which is the rate constant for the decomposition of the activated molecule A star, and another one is the K2 into A, which is that indicating the concentration of reactant. So here we will discuss about the two cases when this K3 rate constant for the decomposition of activated molecule is very small as compared to K2 into A, means as compared to the concentration of reactant, then the rate of reaction can be simply, it means that their addition, this K3 is very small, as compared to concentration of A into K2. It means that its value will be negligible, 0. Therefore, instead of K2 into A plus K3, there will be only K2 into A. So this A and A will get cancelled, and we will have the equation for the rate of reaction. Only rate of reaction will be equal to K into the only concentration of only one reactant A, and here this K is nothing but simply constant, and this K is, instead of this K3 into K1 divided by K2, is a K, And this above equation indicates that here the rate of reaction is proportional to only one reactant molecule, capital A, only one molecule of the reactant A. Hence, this equation represents the unimolecular reaction. I hope it means that whenever the concentration of here K3 is smaller, here the K3 is smaller and the K2 into A is greater. It means that the term, this term is greater. It means that the concentration of reactant A is very greater, is higher. Then the deactivation take place to the larger extent, and the reaction follows, or the reaction behave unimolecular mechanism, or the reaction follows unimolecular mechanism, and it will be called as unimolecular reaction. Instead of this, if in the second case we will consider that the value of K2 into A, which was very greater in the earlier case, now it is very smaller than the value of K3. It means that this K3 is very smaller, and K2 into A is very smaller, and this K3 is greater. Then in this case, what happens? This K2 into A is nearly negligible, is nearly equal to 0, and at the denominator only K3 will remain. So here this K3 and K3 will get cancelled, and we will have the equation for the rate of reaction only K1 into A square. So this indicates that here the rate of reaction depends upon the two molecules of reactant A, and hence this equation indicates that the reaction behave as biomolecular reaction, or this equation represents the biomolecular reaction. Hence we can conclude that at the lower concentration of the reactant A, the activation is almost same as the rate of reaction, and hence the reaction behave as biomolecular reaction, or reaction follows a biomolecular mechanism. So it's very simple, I think, to discuss about the unimolecular reaction with the help of Lindemann theory. Definitely this Lindemann theory is useful to explain the rate of unimolecular reaction based upon the collision theory, based upon the biomolecular reaction, and also we try to discuss both the cases, what will happen when the concentration of reactant is very small in case of unimolecular reaction, and the concentration of reactant is very greater as compared to the K3, which means the rate of decomposition. And definitely in both the cases we are getting the conclusion. In one case, in earlier case, reaction behave as unimolecular reaction, and in the second case, when the concentration of reactant is very small, very low, the reaction behave as biomolecular reaction, or reaction follows the biomolecular mechanism. So dear friends, today we try to study the Lindemann theory for unimolecular reaction used to explain the rate of reaction, used to derive the equation for rate constant of unimolecular reaction. So dear friends, in the next part of the video we will try to resume to discuss the another concept in the chemical kinetics, which will have the discussion for the methods to determine the rate of this unimolecular reaction or the fast reaction, with the help of some method that we will discuss in the next part of the video. So thank you very much once again.